Hi folks, welcome to Schewe Library's second video on Google searching techniques. In our first video we covered some of the more basic searching techniques you could use to get a good Google search. In this video we're going to cover more advanced searching techniques. So let's jump into it right now. Alright, the first trick we're going to cover in our advanced searching techniques involves excluding certain types of results from your Google search. Now, when you're doing a Google search, or any search for that matter, part of the process involves, of course, finding the best results, but part of the searching process also involves not flooding your results with things that you don't want. And when you're using Google, one trick that you can do to avoid certain words or certain terms appearing in your search is to include a minus sign before the term that you're not interested in seeing in your search results. So let's have a look at how this might work. I'm going to do a search for good old Jacksonville, Illinois here, and let's see how many results we get. Looks like about 92 million results are turned up when we just search for Jacksonville, Illinois. Now, as anyone who's ever searched for Jacksonville, Illinois will know, oftentimes Google will include a lot of results relating to the Jacksonville, Florida area. So what I'm going to do, because I don't want to know about Florida, is I'm going to type in the word Florida, put a minus sign in front of it, and suddenly we're down to 9 million results from 90 million. Now, another common abbreviation for Florida is FL. So I'm going to put a minus sign in front of that because I don't want to see the FL. And now we're down to about 7 million results. So this is good. We're getting a lot more focused, a lot more relevant results. The last thing I might want to do, just as an example, is I'm going to put Illinois College in brackets, just throw a minus sign in front of it, and suddenly our 7 million results go down to about 6 million. So you can see putting minus signs in front of words you don't want to see can be a very helpful trick for getting a better quality search. In the second trick, I'm going to show you how to search for words only in the titles of websites using a Google search. Now, just like you might do in a library catalog search or a database search, there are times when you're going to be interested in searching for words only in the title of a work as opposed to on every single page of a work. And the same is true when you're doing a Google search. Ultimately, when you do a title search, what tends to happen is you'll get a more relevant and ultimately a more usable set of search results. So let's see how this looks in practice. I'm going to do a little search on guitar bands dying, and this is kind of a well-known phenomenon. Guitar bands aren't nearly as popular as they were 20 or 30 years ago, so let's do a little search about that. And I'm going to type guitar bands in quotes to keep the phrase all together, and I'm going to type in the word dying. Now, you'll see I get a number of results here, which is fine, but when we go down the list, I see that the word dying is not appearing per se in the titles of a lot of these results. So in order to get the word dying, which I feel is really important to my search, to appear in the titles of the results, I'm going to type in the word in title all together and then a colon, and I'm going to type that right in front of the word dying. And let's see what happens. Now, when I do that, we get vastly fewer results. But what's going to happen is that these results are now going to be more relevant because they all have this particular word we're looking for in the title. Now, I could also do this with guitar bands, and let's see how the search looks if I put in title, all one word, colon in front of guitar bands. And again, our search results are even fewer this time, but still relevant. Okay, this third trick involves getting Google to search in a non-English language. Now, by default, Google will try to figure out where you are and set your language settings to what it assumes will be the most common language of the area. And in our case, of course, that's English. But if you're doing some research or you're trying to find some information in a language which isn't English, Google can accommodate you if you simply change its language settings. And let me show you how that might look. I'm going to do a search for adopter un chien en Québec, which, you'll forgive my poor French, means where would I adopt a dog in Quebec, which of course is a predominantly French-speaking Canadian province. And I'm going to scroll down my list of results here, and to Google's credit, most of these results actually are French-based. But even in the first page, we get to a result at the bottom, which is in English. And if we're looking for information in French, that's not going to work for us. To change the language settings, we go to the settings, and then we head over to languages. And we can see our default language is English, but if we change it to French, as I'm going to do here, we're going to see that our results will now be entirely in French. So if I scroll down the list just like I did before and I get to the bottom, suddenly that result is no longer going to be in English, it will be in French. For the final searching trick of this video, we're going to go over something called reverse image searching. And reverse image searching is a technique whereby you can locate all the different instances or all the different places that an image appears on the internet. In a research context, you might want to do this to discover if an image is being used illegitimately, or to discover all the different places on the internet that might be using a particular image. So let's do a little practice run and see how reverse image searching might work. Now normally you would have an image that you would want to look up. Either you would have a URL for it or you would have it on your computer. I'm just going to go find one out in the world here. So I type in I, and the first step I'm going to do is head over to that little images tab in the uppermost menu. I'm going to click on images, and you can see now the Google search has a little camera icon there, which is great, and we're going to use that in a second. Now let's say I was interested in finding all the places that this human eye image appeared on the internet. What I do is right click on it and I go to copy image location, and that's now going to give me the URL of that image, and I can upload that into Google via this window here. And you can see right beside the paste image URL there's also an option for uploading an image if you have it directly on your computer. Now I'm going to search for this URL, and Google is now going to say, okay, I found this image. Which sizes of the image would you like to see? And I'm going to say all sizes. And suddenly, every instance, at least every instance that Google can find of this image are now displayed here. And I can see the ways and the places that this image is being used on the internet.